r/ask Reddit. Parents of Reddit. What is the best weird flex but okay moment you've seen from your child? My 4-year-old son kept peeing on the toilet seat because he wouldn't hold his penis. I told him he had to start holding it and his response was, I can't hold it because it's too big. What a Chad. When my son was potty training, I started letting him do the cleanup, then I'd have to finish. After a bit of this, he figured he was pretty well good to go on his own, and he was very big boy about it. So for the next couple of weeks, he'd do his thing, which always included stripping naked, then come running out to wherever I was, bend over with his cheeks spread, and shout, hey, mom, I wiped my butt all by myself, look it. Mine can't do this, so she comes out and bends over with her shit covered ass in the air ready for me to wipe. Edit. Gold. Thank you, kind stranger. I'll think of you next time I'm presented with a shit covered ass. My son was in the tub and asked exactly how old he was. Me. About 4 years, 10 months, and 4 days. After a few moments of deep thought, I heard him say quietly and reverently to himself, and I haven't been bit by a single wild animal. Oh man. Still kills me. My little boy is extremely proud of his ability to get the automatic soap foam dispenser to form a shaped form on his hand. He should be proud. That takes a tremendous amount of skill to do. My 3.5-year-old outside the other day. He was stabbing the ground with a stick. I asked, what you up to, buddy? I'm digging holes for the ants to climb into. That's so sweet of me, mom. He's a nut. When my sister was younger, she told her teacher that my dad was a clown. He actually owns an auto body shop, but I guess she thought he was a pretty funny. Apparently the parent-teacher conference was hilarious. Your daughter tells us you're a clown? What an interesting career. Katie, you have to eat 3 more green beans before you're excused. No, no more. 3 more. I'm gonna eat 4 more. Oh no, you got me good. My son is good with this. Me. Okay mate. 5 minutes till you have to hop out of the bath. Son. No. 3 minutes. Righto. My 6-year-old son recently put his foot down, letting me know it was not okay for me to tell him what he could wear or not because he is allowed to have his own fashion. Okay, fine. Shorts, sandals and 1 black sock it is. I was playing cops and robbers with my son and my niece, both about 3 at the time. They put me in the jail, the sofa, and proceeded to walk out of the room. As she's exiting, my niece turns to me with a deadpan face and goes, watch your back, then just leaves. I would take her advice. When my son was 5, a waitress at Applebee's asked him how old he was, to which he exclaimed, I'm 5 and I pooped today. I think everyone within 4 tables of us was very impressed. My dad took my daughter out to eat once when she was 2 and the server asked if she was ready for ice cream and she said no. I have a poop coming. He just said, well, more room for ice cream then. Which I think was pretty dope for someone being paid basically nothing to work at Applebee's. He took the poop ball and rolled with it, like a minimum wage dung beetle. My 10-month-old son hates being changed. Recently he figured out that if he grabs his balls in a death grip with one of his hands, it makes it impossible to get the diaper on him. I die a little inside every time he does this. If you haven't already tried it, warming up the wipes will sometimes stop diaper changing hatred. I was throwing my nieces in the pool and the 4-year-old grabbed a pool noodle and looked right at me to say, today, you're gonna get hurt. When my daughter was I think 8, we were in the pool throwing a beach ball around. I tossed it to her. She catches it then says to me, is that all you've got, old man? LOL. That's when you ducking spike it as hard as you can at her little face. Are you ducking sorry? I remember being about 6'8" and bragging to multiple strangers about how my older, red-headed and white sister, for context I was a little brown-haired, brown-eyed, brown-skinned child, was my full-blooded sister but had a different last name because I thought it was a cool fun fact about my family. Turns out she was a half-sibling and nobody told me until I was older. Well, it is genetically possible if that makes you feel better. I ran around telling everyone I was the most beautiful girl in the world. I even told my mom's friend that Shirley Temple was almost as cute as me. Used up all my confidence at 3. My daughter, age 2, regularly comes up to me and puts the back of her head in my face. See my hair? Yes, honey, I do. It's beautiful. Runs off. My son, 4 at the time, was, I guess, trying to impress the 6-year-old neighbor girl. He leaned casually on his arm and said, I have lots of accidents. Pee and poop accidents. I hope for his sake his pickup lines improve. So I heard you're into bad boys. Because I'm really bad at everything. Winks with both eyes at once. My brother tried to impress the girls next door by telling them he had head lice. Not my kid, but a friend of mine was trying to teach his daughter to pick up her toys when she was younger. When she didn't do it one time, he told her he was going to throw away everything that was still on the floor. She picked them up and put them in the trash can for him. My kid did that. It's a damn power move. I mean, what do you even do in this situation? Throw them away. Okay, then what with the toys? Not a parent, but I teach swimming lessons. This one 5-year-old first day of lessons was like, I'm not very good at kicking. So I said, that's okay. Nobody is perfect at everything. Dead serious, he just goes, no, I'm perfect at everything. Except kicking. Sassy niece after first day in school. I learned how to count to 11 today. I bet you can't. Weird flex, but wait, I indeed cannot count to 11. 11 is a fancy way of saying 110. I'm 11 years older than my little brother, and when he was 4 he went around the entire neighborhood and wrote his name on everyone's garage doors in really big letters with a permanent marker. My 10-year-old son bragged the other day that his hair looked like Martin Freeman's. What the duck? Just a couple days ago, my 2-year-old son woke up, so I went to change him. I pulled his jammy pants off, then went to undo the diaper, and the whole time he has this look on his face like he's waiting for something. I pull the diaper off the front of him and boing, he's got a boner. He even smiled big and threw his arms up at the moment of reveal, like Tay-da-a-a-a-a. When I wasn't appropriately amazed and merely continued with changing him, he pointed at it and said, loudly and forcefully, that's mine. Yes, my dear, that is your penis. Congratulations. I'm definitely gonna try this move tonight. My wife will be thrilled. Mine did that to me, except he said big wee wee. Had an Amber Alert hit my phone one night while my then 6-year was playing a game on it. She asks what that was and I explained it's a message that gets sent out of a kid gets kidnapped. She looks at it again and sees it's for a town over 2 hours from where we live. She then asks me why they sent it if it's so far away. I said because they want everyone to look and find the kid. Wouldn't you want everyone to look if you got kidnapped? They want to find the kid so they don't get killed. She leans over close to my ear and whispers I'm very difficult to kill. I had to mute the Amber Alerts on my phone. My son saw one when he was 5 years old and asked me about it, so I explained it every hour or two for almost a week afterward. He'd ask me, did they find the kid yet, Mom? Were you even looking at license plates when you were driving? You have to pay attention in case you see her. When her body was found, my poor kid was devastated. He still writes down the license number whenever he sees an Amber Alert on one of those LED road signs and sets it on the dash where I can see it. Sounds like he would make a great detective. My toddler just threw her dinner on the floor, started clapping, yelled hoo or I as loudly as her little lungs could possibly allow, then looked right at me holding up her palm for a high five. Now that's a weird flex right there. This was just the example from tonight. She doesn't know the difference between right and wrong yet, or so she makes us believe, so everything is high five worthy in her worldview. Climbs up on the couch, high five. Pulls the cat's tail, high five. Gives the dogs treats, high five. Tips over the pet water bowl, high five. Solves one of those kiddie puzzles, high five. Cries indiscriminately over nothing, high five. Now that I think of it, high fives can be a great behavioral tool. When I was 6, my absent father came back into my life briefly and I paraded him around all of my friends bragging saying this is my dad. I bet you thought I didn't have a dad, but I did. He was gone again within a month. LMAO. Kids really want a dad, don't they? Not a parent, but as a kid, I apparently drank vinegar straight. My brother would do this. We had to hide the vinegar from him and all the salt because he would eat raw salt. I only drink vinegar on the rocks. I am a tutor, and a while back I had a 10-year-old student who said he had just learned the cool kids way to write a 7. Good for you, little dude. Wait, what's the cool kids way to write a 7? Edit. So apparently the cool kids way to write a 7 is with a crossbar like this. 7, but I've only ever seen it written that way by Europeans. I am the child here, but when I was maybe 3 or 4, I took a dump that was green, which was quite exciting to me at the time. I went and told my mom I just had a poop that was green, and she just told me next time make me a blue one. The rare reversed flex. When my son was small he kept a notebook full of tips. Tips like never wear a cowboy suit on island, never stay at a hotel in the woods, when your parents ask you to do chores, pretend to be asleep and they'll forget, always be good friends with a cousin. He has 38 first cousins so no problem there. Always try really sick hard. If you invent something don't test it out with a live person. Don't pronounce mom like mom, say mum, it'll be cooler. Be scared of the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Make your day better with seafood. Never say you are doing nothing to a parent. Never invite someone sick to your party. Don't use a pencil sick on thick and fancy paper. Never fight in a war. Always get the biggest bed. If you have a bad taste in your mouth at the beach you may need mouthwash. Never eat nuts you find in your yard. There's 325 of these tips, and they are all awesome. My son, who was 4 or 5 at the time, walked into the kitchen and said to my wife, "Give me my usual, but put it in a real glass." She's like, "What, your milk?" It was then we realized we had to rein in the iPad and curse of Monkey Island. Edit. Thanks for the silver. Edit. Thanks for the gold, kind internet stranger. 2% on the rocks. Half a twist. And put some English on it. My nephew is 4 and thinks he's cooler than everyone else because he can tuck in his shirt by himself. While babysitting my cousin, she got really close to me and smelled like rotten eggs. So I asked her if she farted and she immediately replied no. That's my brief. At least she's self-aware. Not a parent, but when I was little I had a child therapist and I told her very happily and even in a bragging tone that I was only 8 years old and I already had a training bra, and I remember her just looking at me for a while and going okay. My son was watching me cut down a very small tree, like 6 inches across, very small, and the following occurred. Son, Ro, I've never seen someone cut down a tree that big before. Me. Well, I mean, you've only seen one person cut down a tree so far, but you've only been alive for 5 years, so give it time, son. Excuse me, I've been alive much longer than that. Me. Oh yeah? How long have you been alive then, son? 10,000 years. Me. Dot. You know, I actually don't doubt that. He's a treasure. So, my 7-year-old has always been eccentric. I started keeping a log of some things she says in passing on my phone when she was 3, and there are some good ones I feel apply to this thread. Something smells like chocolate and it's coming from the inside of my mouth. Yeah, well, I can read blank spaces. Chickens have chicken in their bodies. Most of these are responses to her older sister bragging about something she did to excel in school. My 3-year-old said to me the other day, "Mom, I feel, and I don't feel, like some profound genius." Ro, you made it to the end. You're a ducking beast. Thanks for watching, mate. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more high quality content.